Hello, this is Brian Scuttle with Sonic Cinema. As part of my Fantasia Fest coverage, I had a chance to interview Joanna Fang. She is an actress and producer on the short film Smiley Death Face, which is showing in conjunction with the feature film Lucky at the festival. And I hope you enjoy our discussion. Let's start off with what inspired you to get into filmmaking?
I think it was just being a kid, watching Home Alone and and seeing Macaulay Culkin, do his thing and realizing that kids can make films too. I know he didn't
Mm-hmm.
direct it, but just I was always that kid that stayed home after school and wanted to watch all the after school shows and it was more than just watching the shows, but also just how they came about it, memorizing the names of all the actors and the directors, and I just knew at a young age that I really wanted to be a part of the experience.
Right.
So yeah, and then in high school, I saw an ad for classes
Mm-hmm.
for production, and I think as soon as I jumped in on that, I knew I wanted to do it.
Okay. Were there any particular filmmakers or actors that you were inspired by early on?
Yeah, I liked Gina Davis a lot, and Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're a kid and you only know the mainstream stuff, they
Yeah.
inspire me a lot as actors. Um, but I like Guillermo del Toro. I know he's been to Fantasia Fest before. But I like people who have a unique style, a brand that sets them apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
I'd say that those were some of my influences.
Okay. What? Because in addition to being on screen in Smiley Death Face, you're also a producer. What drew you to producing films?
I when I started working in the film industry, it was both sides of it. I liked both being in front of the camera and behind it. Um, and I think growing up, and being transparent, being Asian American, there was a point where there were less opportunities in front of the camera. So by default, I just wanted to be involved. I always wanted to be behind the camera. I'm that from the start. But with less in front of the camera opportunities, I just naturally gravitated towards doing stuff behind the camera because I wasn't going to let that stop me from working in the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
And just one after another, I went to business school, and film school. So both that has really helped with the production side because a lot of times people don't realize that producing is a lot of creative work, but then it becomes a lot of like business work too.
Mm-hmm.
So my career kind of fell more and more in that direction.
How did Smiley Death Face come into being?
Oh, that's a great question. Uh, so, we were kind of sitting around talking, and so I think a lot of thrillers and horrors now are throwbacks to the 70s and the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Things and a lot of these other movies that are coming out, and we realized it was because it's that's a period of time when modern technology didn't really exist.
Mm-hmm.
So you can cut the phone line, you can cut the electricity and the lights go out, and it's scary. It's dark and they're trapped, in a location. But this generation, like those are not issues anymore.
Yeah.
You have a cell phone, you just call 911. Like it's everything is taking, there's battery backup power and everything. So we really wanted to make a thriller that took place present day,
Mm-hmm.
addressing modern issues that none of the old school stuff. Let's try and do something now. And you know what? Let's take it a step further and literally make modern technology the villain itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where that all started.
Yeah, the thing that I really enjoyed rewatching the film because I saw it at a Women in Horror Film Festival is the fact that it reminded me of the opening of Scream, and I couldn't help but think of like how different that scene would be if like Drew Barrymore and the killer were just communicating in emojis. And it's such a fun concept because of the fact that on the one hand it's very funny to see the different emojis being used. On the other hand, it also ramps up how sinister the person on the other end of the line is. And
Right.
you just have this added weight of just them being a villain based on how they're using certain emojis. And I love the fact that it's essentially, you know, your character's talking about, you know, communication and, you know, the evolution of communication, almost how we're going back to a more, you know, primal time. And all through the while, like, you've got this crazy little horror story going on. It's really entertaining.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because really it is kind of like, I tell people it's Scream meets emojis, you know. So you totally you got that.
What was how many other festivals is this played at? Is Women in Horror the only one?
No, it's played at a few. It's actually playing at Dances with Films, going simultaneously as Fantasia Fest.
Okay.
You know, it's a bit tough now with COVID, so it just got into, I don't even know if they're allowed to say it. I mean, it's got into Film Quest, but Film Quest is supposed to happen in like September, but they're insisting on doing a live festival, so they're pushing it theirs till spring.
Okay.
Far away. So everything's just kind of in flux. Yeah. I personally, you know, there are also a lot of them are just saying, you know, if you'd like to, you can pull your submission before they do acceptances. If you don't want it, we're going to do our festival online. So if you don't want to do it, we can pull it and you can just submit next year. Mm-hmm. My personal belief is that, you know, I mean, I've already shot other things, you know, so I can't wait, you know, because when those festivals do come around, I already have other things I want to submit to them. So my whole thing is, you know, right now everybody, I've now done some online festivals, and the thing is, the filmmaking community, they didn't go away, you know, they're not dead, you know, so they're still there waiting for content. They've done a lot of mixers to engage us, and last night I was at a happy hour for one of the festivals online, and you know, it sounds super nerdy, but like we were just like, you know, chopping it up, all laughing. I kind of forgot that I was behind a computer, you know, because none of us were saying things like, "Oh, this sucks. Why are we doing this?" Like everyone's like, they were just glad to be doing something, because it's not anybody's fault that's on, you know. So so yeah, there'll be some upcoming festivals.
Mm-hmm. No, and I'm and the thing is, it's like I'm really kind of enjoying the Fantasia Fest Discord, and it you know, I like the way different festivals are trying to adapt and trying to press on. I mean, you know, it's like I was not quite sure what to expect going into covering Fantasia Fest, but I'm really enjoying the process so far, and I mean it's gonna be interesting because unfortunately, like we can't necessarily see too many of the screenings because of the fact that, you know, they've got geo blocked, but at the same time, it's like, you know, well, the special events are still available, and just the community on the Discord has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, can you like kind of teach? I mean, give me some advice on like I'm on it, obviously that's how we met.
Yeah,
but I mean, to me, it's just kind of like one massive conversation. You know, like, so like how are you navigating this? I mean, I know you reached out to me personally, but I don't even know how to get like talk to people on this.
I mean, and the thing is, it's like I've spent more of my time in the press lounge than anything. But yeah, I mean, it's basically just a long. It's basically just one long massive thread, and it's like trying to. Yeah, it's tricky, especially with so many people on there. And the conversation just building and building and building. It's like you know, if you want to talk about something, it's like, oh wait, that was already talked about like a few hours ago. It's like, how do I get into that conversation? Yeah, it's tough. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, and you know, for us in the press lounge, it's basically just been telling each other like, you know, what we've been screening, what we've enjoyed, what we haven't, you know, what we've liked about this, and just sort of talking about in those terms. So, because I mean, we've actually had press access to a lot of the features available for a couple weeks now. So, it's been fun to see like who all was going, who all was to watching certain movies, what people are thinking, and stuff like that. So, I mean, that part is, I mean, obviously it's more insular, but yeah, the regular lounge, it's I can understand it being tough because of the fact that it is like you know, I get the notifications constantly, but at the same time I'm not necessarily in a position to get involved in the conversation. So
Sure.
what were there any particular challenges you guys had in making Smiley Death Face?
Definitely. Because a significant part of the script is, I mean, it's not just most of it, is non-dialogue based.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's literally like a script in emojis.
Yeah.
So, trying to nail the timing of her reactions and her acting to what we will eventually see on the screen.
Yeah.
And trying to keep the pacing so it's still interesting and keeps you on the edge of your seat. For me, what I was the most scared about is I don't translate emoji language that quickly.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can read subtitles very quickly, but how quickly are people going to understand everything? Are they playing Pictionary for 7 minutes, and are they going to be frustrated and unhappy watching this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but luckily everybody seemed to at least get the general gist of what we're trying to go for.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, how long did it take you guys to sort of like nail down like what you wanted to? How long was that? How difficult was that process in terms of what you want to do, like how you want to express, you know, the how you want these characters to express themselves in emojis? It's like how long was that translation from like sort of what the character would normally say versus what they're saying in emoji?
Oh, right. We definitely rehearsed with the actress beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, before we came on set. And the good thing is, because it's not dialogue based, we were able to shoot some scenes without sound. If that makes any sense. So she's walking through all these, doing the motions, and then we could just yell, "No TV, TV," you know, and then she could just react off of what we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
That way, because we didn't have to record sound on any of this, because it's going to be, you know, emojis put in later. So luckily we could. I mean, she already had rehearsed it quite a bit to know. I mean, she's not reacting to anything. She's just off of memory, basically, what we told her the whole time. But we also could just like cue her as well.
Yeah.
What was the reaction? Obviously, she knew what, you know, the script and what was happening. So kind of cheated that a little bit in that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where at Fantasia Fest is Smiley Death Face showing? Is it playing with one of the features or is it in one of the short film blocks?
So I am not sure. Did you get any kind of schedule? I actually talked to someone yesterday at Dances with Films, also in Fantasia Fest, and she said, "Oh yeah, someone emailed me about changing my block. I got a schedule for features, but I didn't get one for shorts. Is there anything that you got? Did you get anything?"
Not necessarily. I mean, if you go to the website, it's got like the short film blocks, but I know that a lot of the features also have short films with them. So, and it's like a bundle package. So I mean, I didn't remember seeing in any of the short film blocks, but yeah, I mean, I would probably need to see if I can find it on the I'd probably need to see if I can find it on the server that they have set up and see if it's like bundled with a particular feature or not. So yeah, I'll probably check that out here sometime this afternoon. And I can get back to you if I happen to find it. So
sure, and I'll probably check in with them too. I think after yesterday, she said that I was going to check in with them.
Okay.
And see where we stand, but hopefully I'll find an answer.
All right. Well, thank you very much for talking to me. And like I said, I really enjoyed the short. I mean, this was my second time watching it. I really enjoyed it just as much the second time as I did the first time.
Thank you so much for interviewing us. I mean, where would we be without people like you who are helping us get exposure? We're just independent filmmakers,
Yeah.
So thank you, for doing that.
Oh, no problem. And yeah, I mean, I'll let you know how I'm going to present this. What I might do is I might just I might post the entire our entirety of the interview, edited down and stuff like that. With when I do review Smiley Death Face, and then just put the clip where we're talking specifically about the movie in when I'm doing Fantasia Fest in general. But yeah, it was good to talk to you. Good to meet you. So
yeah, likewise. I just went on the site. At least I'm seeing it's playing on Sunday, August 23rd at 9:45 p.m. and Friday the 28th at 11 p.m. and it's a Canadian premiere.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay.